fall. The flicker burning, you know the time is running out. Only I see all the diamonds breaking down. I won't stay quiet, cause staying silent's the same as dying. I won't stay quiet, the flicker's burning now. This is not a swan song. This is not a swan song. We just gotta hold on tonight. This is not a swan song, swan dive. Yeah, it's a new life.
Good afternoon, good morning, welcome people to episode 291 of Film Bastard. As ever, I am joined by my co-host
Hello everybody.
and
Ian Loring, hi.
we're joined by our comic book bastard.
Oh, Mellor, hello.
And who else are we joined by?
Hello, I'm not dead. Jordan McGrath.
Jordan McGrath is making his triumphant return to podcasting. So the three 35mm heroes are here, and we're going to chat
We're just
some
piggybacking,
films.
aren't we?
We are indeed. We're going to chat some fucking films, aren't we?
Yes, we
Indeed.
are.
It's
It's
the
very
plan.
threatening right now.
Yes. So we're going to chat. We thought a historical occasion where we brought everybody back together for like a big show. We thought, you know what, fuck it, let's not do it for the show 300. Let's do it for a film that truly deserves it. Let's do it for Alita Battle Angel and Steven Soderbergh's third film since he retired that he shot on a iPhone with High Flying Bird.
Yeah, we probably could have picked better.
No, we could have.
No.
We could not have picked anything better than Alita Battle Angel.
We could have. Well, yeah. Is anyone else not Jill? Jackie Earl Haley was in that. I didn't.
Yeah, I realised that when I saw the IMDb page.
Wasn't he the big fucker?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
And Jai Courtney was
Really?
in it for one shot.
yeah.
We'll get into that later, guys. We can tickle your balls a little bit there.
Oh, shit, he was, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Ah, right.
We've also going to have some sort of trailer chat and tangents and bits like that, and probably a lot of chaos, I'm guessing, during this show. News-wise, has anything happened? Has Liam Neeson threatened anybody this week?
No, but people are getting very annoyed about which categories the Oscars are dropping. I've got to agree with Variety's Chris Tapley. Just cut the shorts. Give them their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, as well,
BAFTA's happened.
did they?
Yeah.
It's like if a tree falls in the wood, isn't it?
I actually watched the BAFTAs this year.
Can you actually watch them?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
It wasn't very good.
That doesn't surprise me.
Lumley's monologue apparently was horrific.
It was so. I mean, to be honest, her throughout it was just cringeworthy. But
Did she present the whole thing?
yeah, she's the new Stephen Fry.
Didn't she say
God.
something about it was a surprise that Black Klansman was such a hit at the Clan Film Festival?
She did say
She
that,
did.
yeah.
That's a proper dad joke. I love it.
Like I like that's not bad. I'm sorry, like that's like just the sheer we're gonna go ahead with this joke. I kind of give them points for that because
I mean, it's a shit joke. It sounds like a Bob fucking Hope joke or something like that. It's, yeah. It's a bit like a cracker joke. No pun intended.
It's just a bad thing that when you're watching a film award ceremony, the best thing about it was maybe about 5 minutes of acrobats from Cirque du Soleil at the beginning, and it just went down from there.
They do that every year to the BAFTAs. They always have some sort of fucking dance sequence at the beginning. It's yeah, I don't know. It's like if Cirque du Soleil is kind of your star attraction, you are in trouble, aren't you?
That is it.
They should have had Bros, riding some of that fucking documentary heat. Have Bros come on and do When Will I Be Famous? Like oh.
Or just a fist fight to the death between both of them.
That would do as well. Like, yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know. I mean, like, and the Oscars thing is like it just apparently they are gonna show like they're going to show the speeches at the end of the telecast. Literally, all they're cutting is the people walking up to the stage
and collecting the actual art.
So they'll still give the speeches. So they're basically probably going to save about 2-3 minutes. But then during the commercial break time when they're going to do these is when people go to the bar. So all that's going to happen is it's just going to be a bunch of noise in the background while these people try and give their speeches. Like it just sounds awful.
It just doesn't make. The thing is, they've picked really weird ones to do. I mean, cinematography it is a pretty biggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and they've picked cinematography to drop from it.
I haven't read any. I haven't heard about any of this. That's quite shocking. That's quite shocking.
It's film editing.
It's literally a visual medium. Wow. You're not going to give it to the cheap visual.
They're dropping because they already dropped a load, but I'm pretty sure it's Ian. You might correct me on this, but isn't it hair and makeup?
Yeah.
Film editing.
Yeah.
Cinematography.
Yeah.
And there's one other, isn't there?
I think it's best live action short.
It is best live action short. Yeah, that's the one.
Right, cinematography and editing is basically like two of them. I'm no, but fucking hell, cinematography and editing. That's cinema.
It's two of the however many techniques that you need for a good film.
Yeah.
It's
Jesus.
utterly mental, the fact that that's some of them that they're dropping. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. Just extend it by extra 10 fucking minutes.
I mean, I know they're going for viewing figures and they're trying to keep it tight, but I swear to fucking Christ, if they do any of that shit like surprising those people during that preview of A Wrinkle in Time shit like they did last year, which feels like that was a good 10-15 minutes, that section, then, you know, it just, what the fuck are they actually going for? I mean, who is going to go, right, I'll watch the Oscars now because I don't have to sit through best makeup?
But the thing is, it's almost like, you know, like the whole "hold my beer" meme.
Yeah.
It's almost like every time the Oscars do something and they go, it's blah blah, we're gonna hire Kevin Hart, and the Oscar goes, "Hold my beer," and it's literally that, but just keeps fucking going.
It's like this is
and mooted that it might happen about 3 weeks ago, and everybody went, "You can't fucking drop editing and cinematography," and they went, "Oh, we're not planning on doing that. We're not planning on doing that. Are we planning on doing that? We are planning on doing that. Shit, leave it a couple of weeks, then say it. All right, that'll work."
It's like this is all smoke and mirrors because they were ready to reveal that they've actually replaced Kevin Hart with Liam Neeson. And then this all happened, like, oh shit,
no,
we better do something else just to make people more angry at us.
Yeah, they didn't ask to replace him with Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson just tracked Kevin Hart down, and now they can't find Kevin Hart because Liam Neeson went all fucking taken on him.
I don't know. It's a shit show, isn't it? I mean, fuck knows what's. I mean, it's going to be fascinating to see what that show even is this year.
It's going to be fascinating to see the first person that goes to collect their award and basically just donates all their time to whoever won best cinematography.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. It'd be great if Mahershala Ali was just like, no. I've already won one of these. What I'd like to talk to you about is editing.
Yeah. It literally, he dragged up whoever won editing instead and just went, "There you fucking go."
Well, this is the thing, though. It's like what Ian, you said. You said that they're looking to sort of broaden the audience and stuff like that. If they're looking to broaden the audience, or broaden the audience to what? If they're looking for more film fans, then you don't cut cinematography and editing. If they're looking for more mainstream, you know, people who are just interested in dresses and celebrity, you don't cut best makeup. So what are they going for? Like, you know, they were talking about cutting out songs, so that doesn't necessarily please the broader audience. Like, what audience is it they're going for? Because it just seems like they're chopping off bits and then waiting for people to react, and then people react and they go, "Actually, no, we're not doing that. We'll chop this bit off instead." Doesn't really seem like they've got a plan.
Apparently they were going to, with the songs thing. What they've done is they've asked all the artists performing the songs. Apparently, I read this somewhere, whether or not it's true or not, but they asked all the artists to scale down the songs to 90-second versions of the songs.
Yeah,
and a few so far have gone. No.
Yeah,
because that would basically be Lady Gaga starting at the bit where she's just kind of vocalizing in the shallow. You know what I mean? Like it would just
that comes after 90 seconds as well. That comes at like 2 minutes and 14 seconds or something like that.
Can you imagine if she did that though? If she just started it from there, it would just be 90 seconds of her wailing.
Fuck off.
Shallow,
It would though. There's no context.
That's all it would be.
Yeah. La 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 la. Ah. That's it. That's it, man. It's not even the strongest song from that film.
But it's the only one that's fucking nominated. Not bad.
It's just the thing is, I mean, it's basically, I think it's going to be interesting this because like they're in a multi-year deal with ABC in the US, and it kind of feels like maybe after all of this, ABC and the Academy will just mutually agree to just fucking end the contract and give it Netflix. Just fucking give it Netflix. Let's get a best stunt category in there, and then next year, you know, if that means we have to have best popular film, then fuck it, go on then. You know, just let Netflix do it. Let it be 4 hours long, and just let everybody in the fucking world watch it, and like a good time for all. You know what I mean? Like it just. I mean, the BAFTAs apparently was 500,000 people down watching it from last year. And with that, it's just like, just stick it fucking online. Like, stick the whole thing online and, like, do the whole thing. Don't time delay any of this fucking bollocks.
Just stick it on iPlayer.
Well, that's the other thing.
All that.
That's the other thing as well. Is if the main worry here is ads, then stick it online and have some pop-ups or something. You know, there's ways to. You could sell pop-up ads on streaming very, very easily for the Oscars and charge basically whatever you want. And I don't think they'd be that intrusive because it's not like you're watching a film. You're watching an event. You know, it wouldn't be too intrusive, I don't think.
Netflix would pay through the fucking nose to do the Oscars. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't have to worry about ads. The Academy would get a fucking shit ton.
But you know, if you went to Netflix, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think even if they got like managed to get their hands on the Oscars from like the 80s and the 70s and whatever,
that'd be incredible.
You know, when you have the whole historic thing. But you know, if you give it to Netflix, instead of ads, they're going to be the best supporting actor Oscar brought to you by Snickers.
No,
it's going to be the best actor brought to you by Red Bull.
But I think if when the Oscars realise they can do that, they'll just do it themselves. But
don't give them any ideas. Yeah.
No, the Academy,
and it'll be best cinematography with Barry's discount cars.
No, I mean the Academy think too much of themselves to ever do that. Like they genuinely think that it's still super prestigious, and that would just kind of like ruin it. I'll tell you what's funny though: the Academy's current president, this guy John Bailey, he's a cinematographer. That's his profession.
Oh wow!
And it's just like he's the one who had to come out and announce this decision, and it's just like it was in a statement. Can you imagine like what a press conference would be? Like first question. As a cinematographer yourself, John, how do you feel about this? You know, like,
I think we're fucking useless anyway.
I think it would have been quite hilarious if, I mean, I know Roger Deakins won one now, but if he hadn't, and he was nominated this year, and he won his first Oscar, and it wasn't even televised.
Yeah, quite. Even though, to be fair, I mean, like, Alfonso Cuarón's the favourite for Roma at the moment, and it's like, maybe we don't need to see that speech.
No. Which is basically going to be, I'm great. No, he's going to clean it some dog shit. He's going to dog shit, throw it out there and get a maid to come out and sweep it up, and then he can make a film in 20 years' time. But he's feeling guilty about it. Yeah. Anyway.
I still haven't seen it.
What, Roma?
Yeah.
Come round
Nobody
and
has.
watch it in Atmos.
Just come on to our house. I'll clean up the dog shit out of the back garden if there is any. I'll wait. I'll give it a week. I'll let the dog just crap. And then I'll clean it up, and you've basically got the same thing, but in black and white.
And I'll come over And I'll do a karate routine naked for you, Jordan.
while you sit and
I look forward
really
to that.
awkward about it.
You should.
Have you not watched it?
I haven't, not yet.
Jordan, nobody's watched it. Don't anybody who tells you they've watched it, they're lying. Even these three, none of these have seen it. Nobody's watched it. It's all a lie. It probably doesn't even exist.
Yeah, it isn't there. You click on it and you just get old episodes of Knight Rider.
That's incredible.
Oh, it's like Bandersnatch, and you click on it on the Apple TV and it doesn't start.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Trailers. What have we seen this week, guys?
It's just Quaron saying, "You're not watching this in a cinema, so I'm not letting you see it."
Or taking that sweet Netflix cash.
Yeah.
The trailers.
What have we watched this week, guys?
Right. I've just got to get this out.
I'm not a boy.
You're implicit from it already.
Yeah.
I just got to get this out there right now.
Go on.
Danny Boyle's doing a Beatles film, which it's, as I said in the chat earlier on, it's the most mixed I think I've ever been on something, because I really like the Beatles and I really like Danny Boyle, but fuck me, I really, really hope this is not the film this trailer is selling.
For me, I've just watched it before we sort of came on here, and it's not a Danny Boyle film. It looks. I mean, I know it's written by Richard Curtis, but it's a Richard Curtis
like
film.
a Richard Curtis film. Yeah.
And it's like, why have you got this sort of great director directing this sort of fluff? And don't get me wrong, I do like Richard Curtis. I mean, About Time I thought was quite touching, but
and the trailer for that was also quite deceptive, which is why I have some hope. Sorry.
No, definitely. I have no idea. I didn't know what it was about until obviously the trailer, and it was like, oh god, that's just. I don't know how far they can run with it, and if it's.
It seems like one joke, doesn't it? That's the thing, and I didn't even know it existed before Ian said that it was up, and.
Yeah, I thought it was a documentary. I thought when I misread Ian's message, I thought, well, then they've both done a Beatles documentary. I'm fine with that. And then when it starts, like, this isn't a document. Oh, Christ. Oh, God, no.
You know what I knew that horrible thing that we get now where we get a trailer before the trailer?
Yeah.
The trailer plays before the trailer. Yeah. I knew watching that 5-second trailer that I wasn't going to like what followed. Maybe that's because, what's he called? Flashed up, the ginger fella flashed up. I don't know.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran, yeah. I nearly called him Ed Norton for reasons that will become apparent. But I knew straight away that this was not for me. And I love the Beatles. And as an idea to have in a pub to write down on the back of a beer mat for a script, it's great. But then you wake up the next morning and you go, yeah, we wouldn't get 2 hours out of this, and you throw it in the fucking bin.
But the thing that puts me off instantly straight away is I don't mind the Beatles. I'm not a huge Beatles fan, but I accept their place in music history, and I don't actively dislike them.
And they're very grateful, Mark.
But I fucking despise the song Yesterday.
You do hate that.
I fucking hate it. It is just a dreary, turgid piece of shit. And then when that guy said it's one of the greatest songs ever written, I thought, well, I'd be straight away going, fucking shite.
Well, it's not Coldplay, is it? It's not Fix You. I mean, you're instantly dating your film in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you dated it a few years ago.
Yeah.
You dated it like a decade ago.
But it's bits like that make you think a Richard Curtis film. When you hear something like that, you go, oh god, it's just something that feels slightly out of touch. Like,
that's the thing. Who the fuck on earth would say that "Fix You" by Coldplay is the greatest song ever written?
An idiot, Ian. And
it's just like, fuck me, man. If you're going to get a laugh out of that, say it's No Baby Got Back or something Ian, like that.
Ian, it's somebody whose favourite style of music is chart.
But no, but to be fair to Richard Curtis, he wrote The Boat That Rocked, like he seems to have quite an affiliation with that period of music is what I'm trying to say. So it's weird that Fix You, unless that's the joke that Fix You by Coldplay is a shit song, but I think that's
no, but that's the thing. That's where it gets confusing, because this isn't like the tone of this film doesn't it feels like that joke was written for a different film where that would be the point of the joke.
Yeah.
Whereas in this film, you go, yes, but this is a film for people who think that Fix You is the greatest. So it doesn't fit. Like it doesn't work.
No, I'm not exactly chomping at the bit to see this one. What else have we got?
Actually, going back to the news, did anybody see the announcement today that Seth Rogen and The Lonely Planet are looking to do a parody film of the Fire Festival?
I did see that briefly, yeah, it popped up.
That could work.
Fuck. Yes, please. God. Do you mean The Lonely Island?
Yes, so Sandberg.
Yeah.
So that could work out really well, I think.
Yeah, normally I'd be there going, oh God, no, can we just put that to fucking bed? But then when you attach those guys and Seth
if you're gonna throw Lonely Island to the mix, then I'm there. Yeah.
Because you know that you know at one point Craig Robinson is going to turn up with a clipboard and start saying some random fucking shit and singing.
Yeah.
Is Seth Rogen playing like this? Not Seth MacFarlane, the other guy that looks like
Billy McFarlane.
Billy McFarlane character.
We don't know. It'll be somebody who'll be playing.
But he might be even directing or writing or something. I'm not sure of like the cast, but yeah, it could. It has legs.
Yeah, I could see.
I'd be very much up for that. Aladdin.
Oh dear.
Oh, God, yeah. They actually, and I said this on Twitter, but they actually found a way to make it worse. Like the public opinion was already at a real low, and then they made it worse.
It looks like they blue him on an app they got for free.
Yeah.
Like the $2.99 version, the light version.
Yeah. I have seen 100 screen caps of that film. And none of that moment, and all of them are out of focus. Every single screen cap I've seen of that moment, it looks like somebody's like just. It looks like I'm watching it through glasses and somebody's rubbed a bit of Vaseline on. Like it just looks.
It's such soft focus.
How could they get the effects that bad looking?
It's a $200 million meme.
Yeah,
that's all it is now.
And you know that they probably spent so much money like making him blue and they couldn't get it right. And at some point when they were in post-production, somebody went, you know what we should have done, don't you? Paint him blue. just painted him blue.
Yeah. Arrested Development did it, 10 years ago?
Yeah, there
exactly.
You go.
It's
Tobias Funke is a more convincing genie.
Yeah, what I don't get is, I mean, I was like, it's when the image came out of him on the front of Entertainment Weekly, I think it was.
Yeah.
Like people were saying, "Oh, look, he looks terrible. He looks like a pantomime person." Yeah. But I thought, well, if you're going to have those costumes in a normal sort of set of lighting, everything like that is going to look like pantomime. It's just the way the costumes work. And I was like, give it time. When we see it in the setting, when we see it with all the nice lighting and everything like that, it'll work. But as soon as Will Smith comes on screen, it's like, no.
It's a proper shift.
It can't be finished. Yeah. It cannot be finished.
The thing is it's you see all the bits that you see before it, and this, all the bits that you see leading up to it remind me of like the recent Jungle Book, both remakes and stuff like that, where they've sort of made a more realistic setting and they've cast actors who are more ethnically aligned with the characters, and they are obviously actors that you don't necessarily recognize. So it feels very grounded. And then a blue, weird CG Will Smith shows up, and you're like, "What the fuck is happening?" Like,
he looks quite tubby as well.
He does. Yeah. He is rocking the Genie Dad bod.
Genie Dad bod. But the rest of it, I mean, like, obviously that's taken all the focus. But the rest of the trailer isn't that good either.
No, it looks like an advert for a game.
It looks like an advert for a really shit game from
again,
15
another
years ago.
another app reference, but an app game.
Yeah.
It looks boring up until the point that it looks bad, and that's probably that's not your best. That's not your best trailer, that is it? Really?
No. What else?
It is like, what if it is?
It is going to be shit. What else have we caught trailer-wise?
The Hustle.
Anne Hathaway's voice is odd, really odd in this.
I will not be watching this movie.
I will for one reason.
What, she like Anne Hathaway and think she's pretty?
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
Yes, I accept that. Fives.
No, I'm not finding that.
Chris Addison directing this is a bit of a...
What?
Right, okay, Chris Addison is directing things now, yeah.
Is it? But this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really don't like that guy, so...
Yeah, I don't know, female dirty rotten scoundrels, sure.
I'm fine with that.
Not this.
Yeah, it's too much Rebel Wilson. I don't mind her in supporting roles where she can be like the crazy best friend, and I feel like such a horrible man for saying it, but it's like that sort of style of comedy. It's like when Will Ferrell goes to Will Ferrell.
No, I think you're spot on right there. She is good in small doses. She can be quite amusing, but she doesn't have enough charm to pull things off.
No.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's charm, and she's good as the funny best friend because she doesn't come across as a nice person. She comes across as a bit of a dick. So actually, to stretch her out into a whole film, you need her to be a bit more likable. And I don't know if she's got that in her locker.
Well, it's the whole thing of if you've got someone like, for instance, Rebel Wilson, Amy Schumer, they can't carry films. Or they're unsuccessful in carrying films because they do lack a charm and likability. The weird thing is, Amy Schumer in interviews comes across as a cunt, and Rebel Wilson comes across in interviews as actually quite a nice person, but then she flips it and she's very much a caricature in every single performance. And it's like that's all she's got comedy-wise. And then when you compare that up against somebody like Melissa McCarthy, for instance,
exactly,
it's fucking worlds apart.
Definitely.
We all just
that's it.
Around the fact that we're just comparing slightly overweight actors.
Yeah, a little bit.
No, but I think the thing is you've named. I just had the name Melissa McCarthy rattling around my head there, ready to say, because I think she's the perfect example because she does do the physical. She does do the physical comedy.
The James fat lady falls down thing.
Yeah, she does do that, and that's what Rebel Wilson does. But she's also got a likability, and she can do emotion as well. Like she can make you feel bad for her, or she can make you laugh, or she can make you warm to her. And say what you like about Melissa McCarthy, that's a skill, and I don't think Rebel Wilson's got that skill.
Yeah.
The thing about Melissa McCarthy for me is she seems to have not listened when people have gone, oh no, people that look like you can't do those kind of roles. She's gone, well, fucking gone her. She's gone for likeable, she's gone for warm, she's gone for just fucking film roles, not this is the fat chick film role. She's got well, no, I'm an actress, I can do that as well as that skinny chick over there can do it.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go for the role. And she's got the role, she's proved her point. Whereas Rebel Wilson appears to have taken that on board and gone, oh well, I would like to go for that, but I'll never get it. And
it's also,
she's ended up in these kind of roles all the fucking time.
Yeah, and that's it, isn't it? It was for me with her. It's the jokes that you're supposed to be laughing at are all at her. They aren't actually what she's saying or a nice quip. It's just her who's the bumbling idiot, and you can't carry that for a full film.
And plus, like if you're not of that mentality where you find that type of body shape highly fucking amusing, there's not an awful lot there to find funny.
No.
I'm not going to go and watch a movie to sit and laugh at a fat person. Fat people don't amuse me that much.
No.
They're just like people, but more well padded. They won't break as easily if they fall.
But also as well, Anne Hathaway's weird voice.
Yeah, and weird faces she pulls over if she tucks her chin backwards.
Yeah, it's like Anne Hathaway can be quite amusing when she wants to be, but when she tries to be funny, and that the type of performance she's giving here, she just comes across as a little bit like, oh, you think you're above all this, don't you? You think you're better than this, but you just doing it as effort. She's quite an aloof person.
They seem to have kind of tried to go for like the buddy movie vibe that's in that. God, what's it called? Is it The Heat?
The Heat, yeah. And the Melissa McCarthy one and Sandra Bullock.
Sandy B, yeah. And they're two very skilled actresses doing their thing, and this not so much.
They're both very likeable, and for all you're saying, Anne Hathaway often isn't that likeable. She can play a bitch quite well.
Not as good as Sandra Bullock.
Is anyone?
Well, no.
Anything else no one's seen this week?
I saw
the Curse of La Llorona.
The what?
Curse of La Llorona, the guy that's doing The Conjuring 3. His director debut. New trailer for that's come out.
Is it horror?
You what?
Is it horror?
Yeah.
I'm convinced it's a Conjuring universe film, but they're not saying it is because the priest in it is playing the same character, and it's the same guy who played the character in Annabelle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like literally same actor, same name of character. It's produced by James Wan. It's a Warner Brothers and New Line film. It's a Conjuring universe film. They're just not revealing what the tie is.
Yeah.
The poster looks like a Conjuring
the priest,
universe.
Obviously.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, there's probably more to it than that, and like, I think there's something coming in this film that they're not letting on yet.
I'm excited for this. I think it looks quite good. That scene in the car with the kids that's in the first trailer that came out a while ago, that's really creepy, and it's really well done, and it lingers on it as well.
Yeah.
Trailer. It doesn't rush it. It is weird for me, though, having seen The Mummy and The Mummy Returns as many millions of times as I have, to see her in anything else.
Oh,
it's an Ux and a Moon that's in it, isn't it?
Yeah, she's not an odd-looking character.
she's very distinctive.
Yeah, she looks like all of her features are trying to crawl into the middle of her face.
She does a little bit, yeah. So no one else has seen that.
Nope.
Awesome.
No, I didn't see that.
What has everyone else seen?
I did see the trailer for Teen Spirit.
Oh yeah.
I watched the first 13 seconds of this and went, I can't watch another movie with Elle Fanning where she's that.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like the pop star version of Beyond the Neon. Not Beyond the Neon, that's my podcast. What's it called?
Neon Demon.
Neon Demon, yeah. Yeah, it does feel a little bit like that, but obviously it's not going to be anywhere near as good or deep as that. But there's a touch of. It starts off with a touch of almost fish tank sort of style, girl with a dream sort of thing. But then you actually get to see the dream turn into the big Star is Born type stuff. So it's not for me, but I'll watch it. I'm interested in it. I think it looks interesting. It's directed by Max Minghella as well, who's the actor. Yeah, which is I think most people will be familiar with him from what's that show called nowadays? Handmaid's Tale. He's in that.
Yeah, okay. Was he in Social Network?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I like the look of it, man. I'll watch it.
Can I ask a question about the trailer? Does she smile at any point in it?
I don't think she legally can.
I don't remember that happening, no.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's quite moody, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we also watched the trailer for Tolkien, didn't we, Becca?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just couldn't bring myself to press play.
No, you were
couldn't bring myself to press play.
You were right. I think I finished watching.
I could feel myself getting tired even thinking about pressing play.
Why? I bet it isn't interesting enough, his life.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? He fought in World War One, he fought in the Somme, so you're going to have that. But the only thing I don't understand is he would hate that there's a film made about him.
Yep.
And obviously, there's something going with the Tolkien family sort of things to the sort of cash in on a biopic on him. But if you want to
I was just saying, what they'll probably do just to liven it up a little bit is they'll wait till the last act, and then they'll have him reveal to all his bandmates that he's got HIV, and then it doesn't matter about the truth. We'll just bump up the temperature.
He's just to go around the Somme telling everybody at the Somme that he's got HIV. He'll go, "Oh, you'll find out."
on the same day he plays Band-Aid.
Yes, and then literally it'll go white and he'll go out Rami Malek old man for 8 minutes playing.
Sorry, Jordan, I derailed you there.
Now all I'm thinking of is going to say, now you say, do you know how I'm going to kill half of France? I've got HIV, I'm going to go through all of them. But that's it.
I like Nicholas Hoult and stuff, and when he does shit stuff, it's like he's wasting his talent. And he's quite a charismatic screen presence in a lot of stuff, and this just looks shit.
Yeah.
It looks very much like the sort of thing that people like Nicholas Hoult will get to like be as the main person in a movie, though.
To start.
Yeah.
I just feel like, why have they done this now? Why did they not do it a few years ago when everyone was like Tolkien crazy?
Yeah, now that people are absolutely exhausted of Tolkien, they drop this film out and everybody's like, we've had enough. There's literally only one person in the world who wants this, and it's Mike.
But there is an interesting film there, like, when he was in the Somme, I'm a Lord of the Rings nerd, I'm a Tolkien nerd, so like, he actually created most of the world for Middle-earth whilst he was in the trenches. And that is quite interesting. But other than that, he's just a guy who wrote some books. I don't know whether they're really, really good books, but yeah.
That's it. If 30 minutes of it is the Somme, and the other 90 minutes of it is him just writing a book, it's going to be fucking dull.
But it took him 15 years to write the book as well, so how long is that going to have screen time?
It's 15 years long.
I genuinely feel like, though, the films have ruined the books for me. I used to love The Hobbit, and I liked less, but really liked Lord of the Rings. And those movies have fucking ruined those books for me. I will never, ever in my life go back and read any of them.
Oh yeah, same here. I loved all the Lord of the Rings books. The Hobbit less so, but I read the Lord of the Rings books first before the films came out. So I loved the books, then I loved those films, and then ever since then it's just been get this world out of my eyes. I'm fed up. So yeah, it's just exhausting at this point.
And turning The Hobbit into 3 fucking films was a ridiculous choice.
Turning it into those 3 films definitely was a bad choice.
Any more for trailers, or are we done on trailers?
I think we're good, aren't we?
Cool, right.
Done.
This body, it has the power I need. I feel a connection to it. I can't explain. This could be who I am.
You've been given a chance to start over with a clean slate. How many of us get that
Why
chance?
did an enemy warship respond to me? Because I knew that ship. I've been on others like it, haven't I? Haven't I?
Oh, whatever you were, it's not who you are now.
Alita Battle Angel is based on a manga series, Gun, but with 2 N's in it. I'm going to go for that pronunciation. I'm looking at you, Beck. I thought you might have known that.
It was a 1993 film, I know that, called Gun or whatever. Yeah. It's like, what is it called? It's Gun Dream or something like that?
Gun Dream or something like that. Gun Dream, yeah. It literally translates to Gun Dream, apparently, yeah. It is directed by Robert Rodriguez. You wouldn't know, because James Cameron hasn't let him anywhere near any of the promotion work for it.
You would know, there's that one thing.
We'll come to that. And it's written, by James Cameron and Latita Kalagardis. Okay, probably butchered that, but so what? What about to talk about Alita Battle Angel? So, stars Christoph Waltz, Jennifer Connelly, Mahershala Ali, Ed Skerrin, apparently Jackie Earle Haley, isn't it? And Rosa Salazar.
Oh, not forgetting Ed Norton as cosplaying James Cameron.
Oh, fucking hell.
I actually thought for the first 30 minutes when he turned up that it was James Cameron.
Straight up. I thought it was James Cameron until that literal last shot of him.
Yeah, well, I hadn't twigged to that until just then, and now it's possibly added and taken away the same half a star. It's in the year 2563. We've had a great war known as the Fall, and now we basically have a city in the sky and a city below. The city below feeds the city in the sky, and it's that kind of, lower classes and upper classes metaphor that was, pretty heavy-handed to be dealt with. And then we've got Chris Waltz plays essentially like a doctor, but like a cyber doctor. It's cool, cyberpunk kind of vibe. And he finds Alita, brings her back to part human, part mechanical life, and then she starts kicking the shit out of things. Things happen. We'll get into it.
I really like oranges.
She really likes and chocolate. But she doesn't like burritos, so she gave it to a dog. Anyway. Alita Battle Angel. Jordan, what did you think?
I thought visually it was quite exciting at times, but one thing that got me straight away was, even though it's a futuristic setting, it always felt kind of dated. It's like it was a blockbuster made in the 90s with the visual effects of now.
That's a great way of putting it.
But I know the script was written in the 90s because Cameron did it back then. But it also feels like most of the pre-production was done back then as well. Robert Rodriguez just took that the previews, plonked his name on it and said, let's do this.
I firmly believe that shot of her chopping the teardrop at the end was prevised in the 90s.
Yeah.
At actual studios.
Fucking hell. Sorry.
That feels like a something that's been taken out of a Blade movie or something.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
But I think it has been taken out of a Blade movie.
It probably wasn't.
But yeah, it falls flat on nearly all of its sort of emotional beats, and it suffers from poor casting. And if you've got a film like that, like think about James Cameron films of old. Like, yes, they were bombastic and they were big and they were action-packed, but they had personality and they had characters in there that felt real, and none of these people felt real. And I don't know the actor's name, but the lead love story in it, the guy,
the Jonas brother,
awful.
Is that honestly a Jonas brother?
No, while I was watching it, I was thinking, I can't get it out of my head that I think you're a Jonas brother, and it just stuck in my head the whole time. I don't know his name.
I literally was watching it throughout the thinking, Robert Rodriguez thinks that is him when he was a kid.
He's been in lots of TV.
Like genuinely thinks that's him when he was a kid.
Even with his haircut.
He's bloody going out with Sofia Boutella.
That kid?
Yeah.
That kid, we've all got a chance.
But yeah, it committed the cardinal sin and made the sort of the world and the story that was getting teased in the flashbacks look way more interesting in the story that it was actually telling. I wanted to be back in that world, and yeah, the first hour of the film as well, to take it on another level, was so dull, and where it should have been building up these relationships in an organic way with Ido and Alita and with I think is it Hugo? I think his
Hugo,
name is.
Yeah.
But all the way they were trying to confused meaningful conversations with exposition, and just because they're sharing screen time together doesn't mean that they're bonding. When he tries to pull on our heartstrings with the father-daughter dynamic that Ido and Alita have, it garners no emotional response, and it, as a whole, it felt really, really hollow. A nice, shiny, pretty hollow ball, basically.
Noel, what were your thoughts?
I agree. I think the first half is all set up and so much exposition. And I think the problem is it's very difficult to get interested in the characters when all they're doing is spending their screen time together explaining things to each other. I think the dialogue is appalling. I mean, to get the good
Twilight dialogue, it's
yeah, exactly, yeah, and it feels very YA as well, like that the relationship in particular. And I think the problem is that you've set out these characters. You've got Rosa Salazar to get the good out of the way. I think she does well with what she's got. She sells a pretty weak character, I think, and a character which is having to overcome a physical
animated face.
Yeah, a physical disability in that pointless face. So she's good. Christoph Waltz just appears to be there to just explain things for the first half hour. So it's very difficult to get any more out of that relationship that he has with his non-daughter. As we've said, the Jonas Brother guy's got no charisma at all. And then when you get to the bad guys, so the first bad guy that turns up, I don't know who he is, but he's sort of...
Deadpool, isn't it?
Ed Scarron.
Yeah.
No. It's so Ed Scarron, he turns up, but before that there's another guy, and he's the one who sort of gets dispatched by her down the alleyway.
Yeah.
When Christoph Waltz down there, as soon as he turns up, he starts delivering this horrible bad guy dialogue, and I was just cringing inside. And then from there, you get Nicholas Holt's older brother, Ed Skrein, who turns up and starts delivering more of these sort of hammy, bad, mustache twirling nonsense lines.
I will say he seemed to be into it. Which I thought he was. I thought he was having fun with it, and he kind of knew what it was. But sorry, go on.
And I think it makes it difficult to care about anyone. It makes it difficult to get on board with anyone. And then later on, any work that has been done to set out these fleeting moments of character, they just backflip on. They just ignore them. So I've got a list of them here. So the first thing is that I'll just do two, right? So Christoph Waltz very early on says to her, like when her eyes prick up about the ball game, and he's like, no, that's nothing to do with you. You need that sort of thing. And he very quickly, no, get away from that. And then it transpires that he's got this relationship with that game because his ex-wife was this person, they had a daughter, and blah, 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 blah. So it's all gone bad. And then within a heartbeat, he's fitting rollerblades to her that he built specially for her. And he's going, good luck, and patting her on the back.
There's a point where he literally says, I will never put that body on you. I will never put that body on you.
Yeah.
8 minutes later,
well, put that body on you then.
He's got loads of parts.
Yeah. Also, the biggest failure for me was what they do with her, where they set her out as this person who she wants to know about who she is. She wants to know about her past and discover all this, and she wants to get up there and learn this, and she wants this body so that she can be stronger. And then in the next scene, she's like, "Do you want me heart?" Like.
It literally, that her giving it,
and it's so unnecessary, that conversation. Yeah, and they're having a conversation about all the options that they've got available to them. Well, I'm going to do this and get the money, and then, we could do this, or I could go in murder ball. So they go listing all these options, and the next thing, she's literally holding her heart, and she's, we'll just take this. Go and sell that.
Because that's the thing. It's like literally at first it kind of seems like it's just a romantic notion, like I'd give you my heart, and then it's literally no, sell my heart. It's
worth shitloads.
That's
for a real day, sweetheart.
I really didn't get on with it, and it was. I'll be honest. I know that I was sort of being a bit bitchy about it beforehand on WhatsApp. So you might think that I was ready to go in and have a go at this film. I truly was not. I went to the film on Wednesday night. It was a midweek, relaxing, I just want to be entertained kind of thing. If this film had have been half decent, I probably would have given it a pass. I was really in the mood for it. So for it to just, it was one of those experiences where one thing after another, it started to really like knock me down a little bit as it went on. So by the time we got to the end and characters were just going against everything that they'd been set up to be, I was just like, nah, fuck this. This is really bad.
I was fucking stunned that you went to see it, though, because I think literally the first I knew of you seeing it was your tweet. And I was just like, yep, that guy's got an unlimited card now, hasn't he? You know.
Well, that's the point, though. I just wanted to be entertained. I just wanted to have a fun midweek action movie with big special effects. So that's all it had to do, and it sort of failed at that.
Bex, what did you think?
I was really up for this when it was first announced, before any of the visuals came out, before any of the trailers came out, just based on the source material. Not that I'm familiar with it, but when they came out, they were doing a movie based on this manga. I did a bit of research into the manga. It's quite extensive, quite a rich story by all accounts. The animes that they've made off the back of two of them are supposedly really good. And the manga is really quite pretty. It's nice looking work. And then they've made this out of it, and it's horrible. There's a few bits in it that I was like, you know what, yeah, I was alright with that. And it was mostly like the action-y, fighty type scenes. Some of those were really good. They were well choreographed, as much as you can choreograph something you're doing with computers, but they were well done. But apart from that, fuck me, it was just painful. The dialogue, painful. The sentimental beats, all absolutely failed.
Becky, can I ask you a question about one of the action set pieces?
Go on.
You know the big action set piece, the big action murder ball set piece?
Yeah.
Did you like it when she just left that set piece halfway through it? This is what it's all been building up to. This is the big murder ball tournament where she's going to win the money and they're going to go to Elysium and...
Elysium, yeah.
She's just left instead.
Just fucked up.
Just literally fucked off halfway through the game. And nobody chased her or anything. It's just like, what?
Do you know, the thing I love about that whole construction as well is she goes off to save him. He dies, kinda, but they manage to rebuild him. And then
fucking dies again.
He fucks off again. She tries to save him. This time he dies for good. Like the fact that last 20 minutes is literally the same thing just played over twice.
Yeah.
It's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Like that. The screenplay literally feels like James Cameron was an 8-year-old just going, so there's a robot girl, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then she joins a murder ball competition, and then this happens, and this happens, and then a guy with a load of robot dogs turns up, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then Ed Norton turns up as me.
I didn't mind the man with the robot dogs, actually. He was the only one that I didn't fully hate.
I liked him at first, but then he made that weird joke, and I was like, what? He just said something like... It was Jeff Fahey. Did anybody notice that?
Yeah.
But he says something like, he didn't like dogs. And I'm like, is that a joke? What's that?
That is literally what he said.
And I liked the robot dogs as well. They were quite good. And I quite like the twist that he does send people up to Zal and put as brains and eyes and stuff when he opens that fucking thing.
With the googly eyes.
It's so fucking hokey. What shitty effect.
That was a little bit man with two brains. I'm not gonna lie.
It's fucking ridiculous. So fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that script, I mean, people should be prosecuted over how bad that script is. It is fucking awful.
Can I just give you my final character contradiction as well?
Go on.
The one where the Jonas brother runs out into the street after that guy and he goes, hey, you, stop doing... It's one of his mates who's robbing. And he's like, you, stop doing that. Stop doing that thing I was doing just literally about an hour ago. Stop doing it. And the guy's like, why? And he's like, because I quit. And it's like, fucking quit then. What are you doing this?
You're literally not involved in this one.
Yeah. You literally came and sought me out to tell me to stop doing it because you quit. Fuck off.
Ian, what did you think to Alita Battle Angel?
Yeah, you know what? I gave this a 2.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and I'm thinking, what the fuck was I doing there?
I did as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's like... some of the visuals are really interesting, but at points it looks like the most expensive cheap movie ever made. It's a film which just it feels out of date. It just feels out of time. You know, it just everything about it feels a bit naff. Like, naff is a word for me for this. I mean, like, that sequence early on where they're playing the street murder ball game. Like, it just, like...
Yeah.
Is this actually... Like, so this bit's for 6-year-olds, then?
It feels like Hook.
No, exactly. Yeah, quite.
Yeah.
I mean, frankly, I'll give it a half star for Robert Rodriguez looking at Jennifer Connelly like most films look at a woman 20 years younger than her. Like, I really respect the fact that they've got Jennifer Connelly here, and they've got her in kind of like dresses and looking all sexy, and it's like, good for you, Rodriguez.
Ian, because it's pertinent to what you're saying right now, but I actually turned out to Bex and said, I have currently one absolutely massive issue with this movie, in terms of a what the fuck issue with this movie. And it is Robert Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez hasn't directed a big movie, a properly big movie, since, what? Planet Terror.
Sure.
Was the last big movie. And that was off the back of Sin City. And it was...
Yeah, that was the shit half of that.
It was him and Tarantino. And I liked Planet Terror, but...
It was the shit half of that.
Yeah, but... He literally has, for no reason whatsoever, has Jennifer Connelly in her underwear, laying on what is it, and then wandering around in her underwear. And you look at it going, I guarantee you Jennifer Connelly was going, why am I in my underwear? Oh, just do it. And it's like, you feel like saying, do you know why you're in your underwear, Jennifer? Because Robert Rodriguez wants to jerk off to the Rushes later on tonight. That is why you are in your underwear. There's no other reason whatsoever. Because
well, Mark, you've managed to find fault with the one thing about the film I did like. So,
I have no.
Although it's Robert Rodriguez, he'll have one hand on his cock and one hand on his guitar.
Yeah,
that's it. No, he will literally have both hands on the guitar as he's fucking it.
Dry humping.
I don't even think it's dry.
Nice.
But it's everything in it. It feels very first draft. It feels like James Cameron wrote it back in, 96, 97, and then put it in a drawer, took it out of the drawer, dusted it off, didn't look like, oh, do you know what, that first draft dialogue, let's just tidy it up, add a little bit of hit this and here and there. It just felt like, there's a script, there's $150 million, go make it.
And basically Robert Rodriguez is like, James, I'll just shoot the script as long as I can have a little dog in this.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's James.
It's like you were saying earlier. There's an interesting story there in her backstory, but for a 3-4 fucking day long movie, it doesn't explore any of it.
Well,
sorry, go on, Ian.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the thing. Like you guys were saying earlier on, it's like the flashbacks. Where was that Michelle Rodriguez as
it was
the other one? Yeah. So like all that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I want to see female soldiers on the moon or wherever the fuck, like shooting up aliens. That looks fucking rad. I don't really want to see this film where it's all centered on a murder ball competition until it's not. You know, it feels all, and like you were saying, Jordan, it feels all over the place. It feels like a first draft. It literally feels like Cameron was just like, this work that I did 20 years ago, yep, that's good enough. I don't need to touch this. Fuck it, I'm busy with Avatar anyway. So, Robert, do you want to do this? Oh yeah, James, I'll do anything, mate. Yeah, anything that you're doing, yeah. You know, and it's like, and here it is, because it was interesting. Rosa Salazar was interviewed on the Empire podcast a couple of weeks ago, and she was saying that like it's really rare for a blockbuster that you've got the completed script. You could just read the script. Like, none of this, like, well, do you want the role or not? Then we'll look at the script while we're filming. We've got the script. And it was like, you should have been looking at the fucking script while you were filming.
Yeah.
You know, it just... But the thing is, there were individual bits that I liked, even though sometimes for bad. Like, that fucking speech that she gave, where, like, she gets that hunter-warrior card by walking in and going, I want to be a hunter-warrior. And also, did anyone else wonder how the fuck is that the same place that Mahershala Ali lives? Like, I didn't get the connection at all. Because, like, she walks into that place, and then it cuts, and it's Mahershala Ali, and then she's in his place, so it's like, he lives there?
Why does he live there?
yeah, you know.
He can live anywhere.
I mean, it's so bizarre. It's like, why are those robot things? Like, those robot things just see her and go, hostile intentions detected. It's like, what the fuck? Those robot...
The Ed 209.
Yeah, the Ed 209 things. And then you don't see... You know... But, I mean, there are moments that I like. I mean, like, that awful speech she gives in the fucking bar, but then that whole kind of, like, fight sequence is all right. The murder ball sequence at the end is all right. Like, the action when it's on is all right. Basically, whenever people shut the fuck up, I was kind of okay with the film. Whenever anybody opened their mouth, it was fucking awful.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Ready Player One in that respect as well.
Yeah, good shout.
I'll do my little bit on it.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, go.
I think out of everybody, I think I probably liked it the most in the sense that I thought it was amusing at points. Just how much they were fucking this thing up. And it's a $150 to $200 million movie that nobody wanted. Nobody was asking for it. There's nobody there saying, "Oh, I wonder when they're going to do an Alita Battle Angel movie." Nobody was saying that. It's Robert Rodriguez directing it, which makes no sense because he's never directed a big budget movie. It was always his whole thing was he made smaller budget movies and made them try and look like big budget movies. What he's done here is he's made a really big budget movie look like a really small budget movie. But it hasn't worked, and it's a first draft script with a director who is well past his best. And to go back to the what is it name I saw earlier? It's Christoph Waltz. So you go back to Planet Terror and Death Proof. Post that, you've got Django Unchained, where Christoph Waltz played a bounty hunter, and you've got Django Unchained, Quentin Tarantino did that, and then Rodriguez went, "Oh, I'm going to craft Christoph Waltz as a bounty hunter, and I'm going to do it in a fucking cyberpunk world with all of this shit, and it's going to go on, it's going to be really, really quite shit."
Yeah, it's so miscast.
Christoph Waltz clearly has the chops to play a bounty hunter.
But the good thing with this is, you know that at some point Christoph Waltz is going to do something great now.
I just felt embarrassed for him. And Jennifer Connelly.
No, Christoph Waltz, I didn't feel embarrassed for Christoph Waltz in this because he literally would have been going back to his trailer going, "I am getting paid so much money for this shit." So much money.
Oh, I know, but it's damaging, isn't it?
Jennifer Connelly looked like she was in every scene. She was regretting the decision to make this movie.
I loved it.
It's like she was going.
She looked like such a bitch all the way.
That's what she kind of always looks a bit like that, though, doesn't she?
Yeah, but it literally is like you could see her thinking, "I know that this is paying for like a new apartment in New York or a beachside place in Miami, something like that, but it's just not worth it."
I do feel for her because obviously she's married to Paul Bettany. It's like Paul Bettany just gets to do a Marvel Studios film every couple of years, and he probably earns enough money off that to keep them going. And then Jennifer Connelly has to do Alita Battle Angel, where basically she ends up as brains and eyes.
Yeah.
She's saying to him when he leaves the house every day as well, "Just can you ask him when they're bringing back Betty Ross?" Yeah, okay, I'll ask him.
Yeah.
I don't think it's...
And then he leaves and he literally turns around the dog and just goes, "I won't." Her character basically is, right, underwear, looks like bitch, eyes and box. And that is literally it. It's not very good, and it was on for 2 weeks. But I didn't hate it, but it's shit. It's what I'll say.
What's that say?
Alita Battle Angel. I didn't hate it, but it's shit.
I'm just looking here on YouTube. It's actually the entire animes on YouTube, like the first film. It's 58 minutes long. So therefore, they've got a 2-hour film out of 58 minutes.
Well, the thing is, this felt like a film that I would have watched in 1994 for £2.50 on a kids' club at View.
Yeah.
It felt like that.
Yeah, you're right there, actually.
Well, I think the biggest crime of all for me is for it to be the film that it is, and for it to have such bad dialogue, and for it to have such bad character development, and then for it to go back on everything it does, then to have the confidence or arrogance that it has to set up this, to set up the future films. I had no idea. So when I went into this, I didn't know that this was, a Hunger Games job. I didn't know this was like, you're going to get to see her battle in a sort of sporting arena, and then she's going to take that fight to the man. I didn't know we were getting that. I thought this was a self-contained film. And then it very, very clearly, introducing people like Jai Courtney and Ed Norton and what's her name? Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez. These are all characters you're going to get to see in the next film. And I'm like, well, hang on a minute. I was like, to be honest, in the early part, I was trying to figure out. I mean, I started out thinking, all right, well, at what point in the film do we get to go to Elysium? Do we get to go? Is that the third act? And then actually, we don't get to go to. We get to see her point at it.
Yeah.
For a long time, I thought the reveal was going to be that Elysium was actually bullshit and it was all dead up there or something.
Yeah,
it was all just something. It was all just something that was being used to keep people aspirational and stuff like that. But even that didn't. It's just like, we're going to go there, but just not now. You're not going to get to see it, and that's disappointing.
But does this get a sequel? Because the only way I think of it getting a sequel is it doing absolute guns in China, in Japan, in whatever. Getting a sequel that way.
It's done.
Yeah, it's not going to make that much. It's nowhere near going to make enough. It's bombed everywhere else. Even if it did really well in Asian markets, I don't think it can do well enough.
But it hasn't opened in the US, has it?
No, but it's projected. They Happy Death Day to You may beat it apparently this weekend.
God!
How much did that cost?
Yeah, exactly.
It's 25 million at the moment.
Wow.
It's
apparently is touching 200. Is in excess of 200 million the production budget.
But the fucking balls out arrogance though to read that script and make that movie and still try and set up a fucking sequel.
Apparently,
you must be stupid.
Apparently, the script was written by Cameron and then was Rodriguez
redrafted by a child.
No, Rodriguez essentially took the script and a load of notes that James Cameron added over the years to it, and then formed the script.
But according to Box Office Mojo, Happy Death Day to You has a production budget of $9 million. $9 million.
And apparently, it has already made more than that on just pre-sale alone.
Wow.
Fucking hell.
We're off to see it tomorrow, aren't we?
I don't know off tomorrow. I think we're off tomorrow.
I read a review of it earlier on, which makes it sound like they're really going weird with it.
Nice.
And I'm very, very excited. I am very excited for that fucking film.
So, going back to Alita Battle Angel, quickly.
The thing is, it's this and The Kid Who Would Be King, I think, are the two last films that Fox are releasing before the Disney takeover is expected to complete.
Jesus, they've really given up, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean,
The Kid Who Would Be King looks good.
Yeah, but
it does, but it's not doing well, is it?
It bombed really, really badly in the US, and it doesn't look like it's going to do great guns over here either. And it's at the point now where I think Disney are basically like, right, Fox, we've got your library for our Disney Plus service. We've got some MCU characters. We've got Avatar. The rest of your stuff can kind of fuck off.
Well, to be honest, whatever they've lost on Battle Angel, they're going to make back on Endgame, aren't they? So that's going to make $2 billion.
Well, the thing is, I mean, like, it's not like the takeover hasn't even completed yet. So that's not even Disney's money to lose. It's still Fox. You know what I mean? So it's just like basically they've just lost a shitload of money. Disney probably have already accounted for that because I think they probably priced that in that Alita was not going to do very well quite a long time ago. It's a sad state of affairs that. Like the last big blockbuster film that we are probably going to see with that fanfare might well be Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah. God, that's quite sad though, actually.
Mark's just seen that Rebecca Ferguson's in The King Who Would Be King, so we definitely have to see The Kid Who Would Be King, so we definitely have to see that now.
And she's playing an evil sorceress.
Apparently she's stuck to a wall for most of the film.
Wow, there's some imagery. Oh, that tonight. So Alita Battle Angel.
Shit.
Your shit. Ian.
Yeah, I'm going to go shit. Like, I've barely said anything good about it the entire fucking time.
No.
It's definitely shit, but I think it's a Geostorm.
What, so bad it's good?
The thing is it's really bad, but I've enjoyed pointing out how awful it is. So
okay.
Yeah, I've got shit.
I think I'm Geostorm as well with it, with Noel on this one, because I didn't outright hate it, and I could.
You heard them talking, right? You heard the script.
I did, but I was expecting that script. I actually thought it was brilliant, the fact that they started off with when the big floating city in the sky, which is actually just tapes to the rest of it, essentially. And it went, oh, is it magic? I thought, oh, yes, I have strapped in for this.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That was good.
Face, right?
I saw a bad animated face, yeah. I also saw Jackie Earle Haley constantly calling her little flea.
Oh, that's annoyed me.
Like it was a part of a computer game that he was stuck on.
Oh, also, I just need to say as well, I just want to bring up Jai Courtney again, like literally one-shot Courtney. And also that...
I have a theory about the Jai Courtney thing.
Yeah, go on.
I have a theory that literally, that when Rodriguez was showing the first bits that were from those days to James Cameron, he went, oh, Sam Worthington's in it. And they've gone, oh, it's not Sam Worthington, it's Jai Courtney. He's gone, yeah, kill him.
Look at, yeah. But I mean, like, in that scene as well, Jennifer Connelly was in the room when it was like, you must get me Alita. You get me Alita, I'll take you up to fucking, what's his blops, Elysium. Literally, Jennifer Connelly is there in that murder ball arena with Alita, like, she sees Alita, just lets her go.
Yeah, Alita's here.
Yeah.
Could just walk over and go, come with me.
Like later on as well, like Christoph, after that fight with the dog man, like they carry Alita out. Jennifer Connelly's there as well. So like, why don't you take her now? Like, there's so many opportunities.
That's another thing that reminded me of Ready Player One, though. There's a lot of convenient people being in certain places and people knowing each other. So like, it's just, I've met this guy, I've fallen in love with him, and he's going to take me right to Jennifer Connelly, and and he also knows this guy who's part of the story, and it all felt very close, like in Ready Player One, where they all come out of the VR world and they all live around the corner from each other. It just reminded me of that. It's just like, this is too convenient. Yeah.
Everybody from all over the world can play with everybody, but we all live within a driving radius of each other.
Within a 2-minute drive in the van. Yeah.
Right, our audience vote was definitely not shit, 14%, touching cloth, 43%, and shit, 43%.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So, moving on. Should we do what we've been watching, or should we go straight into High Flying Bird?
I'll do High Flying Bird, is it?
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
You want to get back on the court. got you, Agent. I want to get you there. But we are in a lockout.
There are no actual games to watch.
You think these fools, these rich white dudes, gonna let these sexiest sport fall by the wayside?
This team's my family. I need us to be one big family again.
Football is fun, but it don't sell sneakers. To move merch and inspire rap lyrics, they need your services.
The NBA wanted control of a game that we played better. They invented a game on top of a game.
I can see a whole infrastructure that put the control back in the hands of those behind the ball.
What you gonna do?
But I'm about to pull up a chair.
High Flying Bird is another Steven Soderbergh film. That is the third movie he's made since he retired this time. Keeps on retiring, this man. It is directed by Steven Soderbergh, not written by him. Terrell Alvin McCraney, I believe.
Yeah, gentleman who wrote Moonlight.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. It's interesting. I didn't know that. And it stars Andrea Holland, Zazie Beetz, Zachary Quinto, Carl McLaughlin, Bill Duke, and a few other people where you kind of go, is that his blah, blah, blah. It is set in a lockout of the NBA, and a sports agent is trying to kind of work around these things in terms of clients when they're not getting paid. So, where should we go first? I'm going to go Becky.
Right, I really expected to dislike this film. I think I said last week that I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah, you're not a big fan of sports movies, are you?
I'm not really, no.
Even though you do like a lot of sports movies.
Name one.
Rocky.
Not a sports movie.
It is.
It's a story about a man.
And Rocky 4.
That's two out of all of them. Anyway, so yeah, I fully expected to hate this movie, but it's not actually not much sport goes on in it.
Well, it's literally none because it's
there's a little bit. There's a little bit where you see them bouncing the ball a little bit, but then it cuts away.
Bouncing the ball.
Bouncing the ball, yeah, doing the dribbling thing. So that I think helped. I actually really quite enjoyed this. It's a bit dry in the fact that it's all the kind of wheeling and dealing that goes on in the background, but it's actually quite interesting. I think it thought its twist was a bit cleverer than it actually was, in that, it was working towards this the whole time, and you're like, yeah, you could kind of see that was up there for everyone to see. And it looks a lot nicer than Unsane. So, yeah, I quite enjoyed it.
Cool. Ian?
Fucking loved it. I think it shows there's a lot more you could do with an iPhone with lenses, in fairness, than Unsane certainly showed. The fact that it's like a proper scope film, but it's got this really good depth of field and clarity to it as well. I thought it was great, but I thought the story it was telling was really interesting as well. People changing the game, but you think they're inventing a new game, but instead they're kind of like just changing the game that they're stuck in. I thought was really clever. I thought, the lead guy, what's his name? Andre Holland.
Andre Holland, yeah.
I thought he was great. He's like, you don't know whether he's just like throughout the whole thing, you don't know whether he's a snake oil salesman or whether he's genuine. And it's like, even though there's a large amount of bullshit to his character, it kind of feels like there are nuggets of truth in pretty much every single interaction he has. It was just really, really complex character. I liked his relationship with Zazie Beetz. I thought she was really good as well. It's just this tight 90-minute look at a man in a machine playing the machine for in the best way that he can. I thought it was cracking. Oh, and Carl McLaughlin was great, and that power play he did with the fucking nose snort was a hell of a piece of work. I was a big fan.
Cool. No.
I liked it. I don't think I liked it as much as Ian, but I liked it. I think it's got a lot of elements that I really enjoy. I love Steven Soderbergh. There's a few of his, there's one of his more recent films that I've not gotten to yet, or two of his more recent films that I've not gotten to yet. But I do really enjoy Steven Soderbergh stuff. I do really enjoy sports movies that aren't about sport, like Moneyball and stuff like that. I do really like films where it's just people having conversations, smart people having conversations. So all of those things came together in this for me, and I really enjoyed that side of it. The performances I thought were great. I thought Zazie Beetz in particular was excellent. I didn't always know what was going on, if I'm honest. There were moments where they were discussing things and I was a little bit confused as to the direction. So all of that stuff I really liked. What I didn't like was the filmmaking to a degree. I found a bit distracting. I think it looked good, but the style of filmmaking got a little bit repetitive, and I know it was shot on an iPhone, and I haven't seen Unsane, but it was shot on an iPhone with a specially developed wide-angle lens to capture these things. Now, the thing that I did notice is the wide-angle lens worked really well for this for this experiment and to show what can be done. However, and I noticed this particularly in the very first scene, the conversation in the cafe, the iPhone doesn't handle, because I've filmed a lot of stuff on an iPhone, on iPhones for work and stuff like that. The iPhone doesn't handle light from behind people very well. And people notice that from day-to-day stuff. And there was a lot of the lighting on people's faces felt, you could see that iPhone sort of, I don't know the technical, but the contrast, it wasn't contrasty enough and it wasn't sharp enough because of the way the iPhone tends to behave in situations where people are lit from behind.
Yeah, it was just really, really dark.
Yeah, and to have that as the opening scene, and for me to notice that, I then just started paying way too much attention to iPhone film stuff, and I found it a bit distracting. And I think if you're gonna shoot a film and you're gonna use sort of new lens technology to try something new, I wonder why you do that and then have to do that with the limitations of an iPhone. I mean, I know that Steven Soderbergh is a guy who likes to try new things and develop new ideas, and I know you can make a film on an iPhone, but Steven Soderbergh doesn't need to make a film on an iPhone. So I kind of don't get why you would do that and have that limitation, especially when you're using this specially developed wide-angle lens. It just seems like a weird thing to do. So the film content I enjoyed. The film making I found a bit distracting and a bit repetitive. And that's it basically.
Sorry, just to interject. I feel like I'd have enjoyed it a lot more because I enjoyed it. I feel like I'd have enjoyed it a lot more because it doesn't spend an awful lot of time talking about the sport itself. If I'd understood more going in.
Well, that leads quite nicely to what I'm about to say. So what I would say is, out of all of us, Andy, football fan, Ian, a football fan, and Noel doesn't like football anymore. But
sometimes football fan.
It's like an interest in Stockport County and Man City because of Charlie, and you're a football fan, okay? Yes. But I would say Jordan is, out of all of us, I would say none of us would argue that you, John, are the biggest sports fan. You're a big
Jordan fan. Is our sports correspondent.
But also, you are a big sports fan as well. So you will have understood, I would guess, a lot more of the sport kind of elements of it and the business elements are related to that, I would guess. So, what did you think, John?
Well, I mean, we can get into that if you want a little bit, but for me, what I before we get into that, what I liked was I kept on thinking what Steven Soderbergh's Moneyball would have looked like because I mean he was attached to it for a long time, if I remember.
Yeah, he was.
And how good of a companion piece it would have been to this, because given how Moneyball is about beating the game, but also about the love of the game, the romantic notion that sports brings onto its fans, and sort of, but this one was so entrenched in the business and the politics of sport. So you look at it two different angles there, which I thought was quite interesting. I mean, going back into the business side of it, about the lockout and things like that, I mean, that is just a place where you've got the NBA as an organisation, you've got the players who, each team has a salary cap. I think it's £109 million in the NBA. Well, that's how much they can pay their players. Now, they can go above that, but they pay something called a luxury tax on their players. So, therefore, if they go over it, they pay a crap ton of money for them. So, what happens is, like in the 2011 shutdown, this is really boring. I think the NBA was going to lower it from about 57% of like their earnings to 47%. So that means the players would have been earning 10% less, and they didn't want that, because obviously they're the talent, they're the people, they are the commodity. So they stopped playing. So
did this actually happen then? Because I was wondering that while I was watching it, because I didn't know.
There's been a few lockouts. I think there was one in '98 and there's one in 2011. I think there's one in the NFL as well, because like American sports don't work the same as British sports, because they have, like, the Premier League doesn't put that huge amounts of restrictions on the teams. We don't really have franchises. We have teams, but. It's very, very, I mean, organised. That's why they always say, like, organised ball, organised football, whatever. We don't have that. Yes, we do have the Premier League, but it's different than the NBA, the NFL, the baseball, stuff like that.
MLB, yeah.
Yeah, MLB, yeah. So, but, yeah, I mean, it is an interesting sort of thing. But what, for me, it made me think about as well is you look at these athletes and what they are. I mean, especially because it sort of centers around a rookie, that they're kids and they don't know how to be adults yet, but they're pushed into becoming these role models and businessmen. And I mean, it's kind of humiliating for me, because I will openly say that I pretty much worship a guy 6 years my junior because he's really good at kicking a ball around a field. And I don't look at footballers as humans. I look at them as, if somebody gets injured, I'm sad that they're not in my team. I don't care about their pain. Which you have that sort of dichotomy of seeing them as humans and seeing them as a business venture. But I think
you do see them out as different to you. I know for instance, I was shouting about a footballer about how old he was, and then I realised and how over the hill he was. Now it was ridiculous, and then realised he was 3 years younger than me.
Was Colatorre?
No, Colatorre was 306 years old. Everyone knows that.
But I look at people who turn 30 in football, and I'm like, oh, they're over the hill, get rid of them. And I'm 32.
Yeah.
It's kind of pathetic.
The Liverpool were linked to as I think I was having a conversation. I went, literally, he's so old that he babysat God. And then I realised that he was actually 3 years younger than me.
Weird, isn't it?
But I think also what it does well is it kind of looks at the possibilities of the future of sports, with social media and sort of looking maybe away from the organisation and going out and doing it on its own. And you've got obviously that theme going on in the film, but also the fact that Steven Soderbergh shot this on an iPhone. Yes, he had some special kit with it, but it's kind of saying, right, okay, you are the talent. Go out and show your talent, because people will come, people will want to see it. So I think there's a little bit of an underlying context there as well.
Like a reclamation of their own identity kind of thing.
And I actually quite really enjoyed the interviews as well, because obviously those guys are proper basketball players, like Carl Anthony Towns and things like that. They're actually were rookies in the last maybe 5 years. So
I enjoyed that as well. Yeah.
Their experiences from going from college, not earning nothing, to earning millions of dollars.
Funnily enough, the weird thing there is the reason why Soderbergh didn't end up doing Moneyball was because he wanted to do stuff like that in Moneyball.
Yeah.
They didn't want that in Moneyball. They didn't want it to be anywhere near documentary. They wanted it to just be a film of what happened. And that's why Soderbergh literally said, well, if you're not letting me make my version of it, then I'm not going to make it. And that's why he left. What is it? And it's quite interesting that he literally does that fucking first back here.
Yeah. But no, overall, I think I'm on the same level as Ian. I really, really loved it. I'm a huge Soderbergh fan anyhow. I just love how he just sort of jumps from completely different films to the next film. And I mean, I might be a little bit, I don't know, bold here, but it felt for me as well, it felt kind of like a Spike Lee movie.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Just the way they delivered the dialogue. I mean, that first scene, and when you're talking about the technique and the iPhone not being used correctly in the first scene, I quite liked it, and I liked his setups whilst people were talking, because he'd done something really interesting, because he would start with a sort of like a normal shot, you sort of over the shoulder, whatever, but he would sort of move the camera around, so you get like this 360 perspective of it. So, you're being sort of entertained by what they're saying, but it's making it visually interesting. It's not just doing a boring over-the-shoulder reverse.
No, I think I agree, and he's pushing the limit of what that technology can do. I did find it quite distracting, and I did there were moments where I was just thinking I'd be enjoying the content of this film way, way more if it was just delivered in a more traditional manner. So it just, I get it, but it distracted me for some reason.
That's fine, but yeah, I absolutely loved it. To be honest, I'm quite looking forward to seeing it again as well. And Andrea Holland I didn't know who he was, and I watched Moonlight for the first time last week, and he was brilliant in that, and in here he was absolutely fantastic.
Oh shit! Yeah, he's the other guy in the last section, isn't he? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
And also, Bill Duke is the man.
Yeah. Well, I have a bit of a mixed relationship with Steven Soderbergh in the sense that I really get on with some of his films and I really enjoy them, and other ones just leave me a little bit cold. With this, and also I love sports movies, and like you were saying, though, I love sports movies that are not necessarily, they don't actually speak to the sport, they're just about the sport. For instance, something like Moneyball I really enjoy, and Draft Day, the Kevin Costner film. I thought fantastic.
Yeah, that's a cracking film, that.
Stuff like that. So I'm very much looking forward to this. And but also, like you said, there was points where I'm watching it going, I'm enjoying this, but I have literally zero idea what's going on at this moment. And it bounced round. And I almost get the feeling that you maybe at points weren't supposed to exactly know what was going on.
Yeah, I don't think it matters, because you're watching people, you're watching smart people having smart conversations about shit that they know about, and you're just going, yeah. It's okay.
And then you've got great scenes like the Bill Duke one, where he literally is in that woman's office just staring at her because she's compared something to slavery, and he's saying, they're saying, well, you better listen to him, and she literally looks at him and just goes, "You're not in my fucking. We're not on your court. We're in my fucking office," which was. I enjoyed the juxtaposition of that. Of everyone saying, "Oh, you should be scared of me," going, "Well, I'm fucking not."
No, because it felt like it was going to go a very specific way there.
Yeah.
It was nice to see that.
I liked Cal McLaughlin in it. All the performances are great. It's one where I think I'm going to watch it again, just because I think I might enjoy it a lot more on a second watch, and I did enjoy it on the first watch. But I think I might enjoy it in a second watch where I can pay a little more attention to it, if that makes sense.
I'm going to read up on lockouts and draft processes and then rewatch it, I think.
Yeah, that's it. I think I want to appreciate it more, but I think I want to know more so I can appreciate it more.
I kept introducing people on the interview segments as like first draft pick, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck that means. Is that good?
Well, yeah, you watch 7 seasons of the fucking league.
That's about football.
It's the same process.
So,
it kind of is, but that's a fancy draft.
no, but they talk about it in many times in the league.
Oh yeah, I zone out for those bits because I don't understand it. It's like when they talk about American politics and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm just going to zone out. I don't need to know this right now.
So what you've got to think about the first draft is basically people come out of college or high school or they drop out of college and then they're given, obviously they're rated, and normally the best player goes first. And the way that's sort of tallied up is the team that finishes last in the league gets the first pick for the first draft. So the second team that finished last gets the second pick. Now, obviously, these lower teams can trade for players for draft picks. So it's an interesting thing. But my only thing about American sports is what doesn't make it, I think, as good as football is that they have no risk of relegation. They basically get rewarded for finishing last by getting a great pick.
Yeah.
So for instance, to give you an example, when Ellis Short, the American businessman, bought Sunderland, he had no idea relegation existed. Right. He didn't know relegation was a thing until somebody said we're going to get relegated, and he thought that meant that they were going to just lose a bit of extra money. They weren't going to get as much money, and somebody had to explain to him, no, you'll no longer be in the Premier League. And he was like, well, they can't do that. And it was at that moment that he realised, shit, I don't want to be in this business. And that is why Sunderland are where they are.
So it's draft day, right?
Yeah.
And all the teams, on their phones and their offices are going to list the names?
They got a draft.
Right, they all get together, like a representative from each team goes for I don't know, like a harvester or something. And then they just pick a name and
yeah.
It's a huge thing. It's like it takes like over 3 days basically.
Yeah.
In the States, you have
it goes draft picks. You don't actually have one pick. You have draft picks going like 1. Is it to 12 or something like that? Is it?
Oh, it's 29.
29 is it?
Yeah. So, but it goes to 1 to 29, then 29 back to 1, then 1 to 29. So you have different rounds. Yeah, but this is getting probably very, very boring for your listeners.
Yeah. It basically, to give an example, Bex, is imagine the Premier League was just the Premier League. There's no other teams, right?
Yeah.
So Huddersfield finished bottom of the Premier League this season, which looks like it's going to happen, right? Next year, they would get the number. They would have the first draft pick.
So this is just out of like academy players and.
But there's no transfers.
Yeah. And academies don't exist in America.
Well, just to kind of put it into the context of it's new players.
It's new players, yes.
So what happens to the old players? Do they just have to stay where they are when
they get traded, or they run down contracts? No, they run down contracts, right. Or they can get traded, or they can be traded.
And what happens when they run down their contract?
They go to the team for a bigger contract.
So would they then go into the draft picking?
No. They become a free agent. They can sign with whoever they want.
Sounds a bit silly.
It's no more silly than Barcelona buying Philippe Coutinho for £142 million, and then having to pay him a shitload more money. But anyway, like John said, we're going to end up delving into something that our listeners are now going, we don't come here for this.
I know, but if anyone's out there thinking, I'd like to watch Pipeline Bird, but I know fuck all about basketball, then we're the place to come, aren't we?
We are indeed, yes.
So Jordan explaining it.
Which is why I left it for.
I honestly had to cancel my NBA subscription because I watched the first 34 games of the NBA season, and they play like every other day.
Yeah.
So I was watching nothing else but basketball.
Yeah, when to get a little insight into that, when Liverpool were bought by Fenway Sports Group, I thought, right, this is it. I've always, from when I first saw Major League 2, a Rookie of the Year in the cinema, I've always wanted to get into baseball. This is the time. I've got a team I can follow, and I get into baseball. And I look at it and went, they play how many games?
162 game season.
Jesus
They
Christ.
play like all the time.
And that's just the normal season, and they go into post-season after that.
Yeah, it's mental. They play like literally almost every fucking day. And it's like, I can't keep up with that.
I don't know anything about baseball either.
You don't need to. So, High Flying Bird, I'm guessing that we are unanimously definitely not shit on this, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Let's have a quick little look. Our audience is not quite unanimously definitely not shit. Definitely not shit, 83%. Touching cloth, 0%. And shit, 17%. So thank you very much for that, Dan.
Nice.
What have you been watching? John, what have you been watching?
To be honest, I mean, quite a lot, but stuff that you've already covered over the last few weeks. So, it's actually should be a little boxed up. To be honest, I rewatched A Million Ways to Die in the West, and I remember hating this film when it came out in the cinemas. But I thought it was on Netflix, and I actually quite enjoyed it second time around.
I like that film.
If Beale Street Could Talk was, frankly, incredible.
Yeah.
It really did. Really, it moved me in ways that I can't really describe. I saw Moonlight for the first time, and that floored me. And I know you guys weren't that hot on it, but I don't know. It's just the sense of loneliness in that film, and those three performances from the three guys. I don't know how they got it so consistent. And I know Ali got the Oscar, but the second kid who played Chiron, I thought was incredible. I watched First Reformed, which, I mean, I didn't really have a favourite film of last year because I didn't watch enough, but that was the best film that I saw that probably came out last year.
It's fantastic.
Paul Schrader just knocked it out of the park. Just the way he shot it, it felt kind of like a confessional box. It was so stylized in its unstyle, really. Just leaving the camera there, and when it was going, when it did move or when it did pan, it was for something meaningful. Ethan Hawke was incredible. But yeah, I mean, it mostly just catching up on the Oscar stuff, really. I watched Paddington 2 for the first time, and that was lovely.
Yeah.
What else? I watched Happy Death Day, which, again, you guys recommended, and it was a very good recommend.
I rewatched that this week as well. I fucking love that film.
Yeah, and Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Oh,
yeah.
Love that film.
That knocked my socks off. I didn't expect it to be as good. I still haven't seen Bone Tomahawk, so that's on my list to watch. And I think his next one's called Dragged Across Pavement. What a title! Oh, what a title for a film that is. Yeah. Cannot wait for that as well.
Especially as it's a cop drama starring Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn as the cops.
That's it. And I felt bad as well because I can't pronounce his name. Mahershala Ali.
Yeah,
Mahershala Ali. Yeah,
Mahershala Ali. So I watched Moonlight and then Green Book pretty soon, and I've watched Alita Battle Angel, and I'm like, delivers these two really good performances, and then unfortunately he's in that.
You need to watch the 4400, Jord. You like your fucking TV sci-fi that goes on for ages.
I remember seeing him in House of Cards, and he was decent in that. But no, other than that, just catching up with the normal sort of Oscar fodder.
Sure. Noel, what have you been watching, bud?
I finally got round to Pacific Rim Uprising. I don't know why. I don't know why it took me so long. I think it was one of those films I was really, really looking forward to it when it came out on the cinema, and then I heard a couple of bad things, and the timing didn't work out with the screening, so I just sort of forgot about it and thought I'll catch it at home. Now, honestly, I think that was a huge mistake. I really should have saw this in the cinema because it's a big, dumb cartoon and big smashing robots, smashing bit. And I grew up watching Robot Jocks and Crash and Burn wishing for films like Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim Uprising, and now they're here. Apparently, I'm not going to get any more, so I'm a bit annoyed about it because I won't get to see another Pacific Rim film on the cinema. I loved the first Pacific Rim. I think the fact that this one cost 40 million less, it made about 40 million less as well. But the fact that it cost so much less and it still managed to capture a lot of the fun of that first film. It's not as good as the first film, but it's still got a lot of fun to it. I loved it. I should have watched it at the cinema though. I really am a bit pissed off that I didn't watch it at the cinema. But bought it for $2.99 as well, so bargain.
Nice.
So since then as well, what else have I watched? Finally got around to A Simple Favor as well, which was excellent. Had a lot of a sort of 90s vibe, 90s thriller vibe to it, which I really enjoyed. Blake Lively, who's great in it as well. Anna Kendrick, I can take or leave Anna Kendrick. Sometimes she can irk me a little bit.
She can be too Anna Kendrick in things.
She can, yeah. But I get the feeling that that's just really genuinely is what she's like.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It bothered me a little bit, but not so much. It didn't bother me too much. It wasn't too distracting. She's fine in this kind of role because what you want in this kind of role is a dramatic actress who is kind of winking at the camera. So she's perfect for that. Really enjoyed it. I also watched Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle, which I was literally, as I mentioned to Ian last night, I was about to put on a movie that's called, what was it called again? I was about to watch An Evening with Beverly Luff Lynn. Just pure. I did. I was flicking through Netflix. I was just like, I just want to watch anything. I want to watch the first thing that just grabs me. And I was flicking through, and I saw Jermaine Clement, and I saw Craig Robinson, and I saw an actor that looked like Matt Berry, but I'm not sure if it was Matt Berry. It might have been Emil Hirsch because it was the back of his head. And I thought, "Ooh, what's this? This looks quirky." And Netflix did that annoying thing where it started playing me a clip from the film, but the clip grabbed me and the clip drew me in. And I was like, "All right, this looks weird and quirky, and it's got people in it that I love. So let's stick it on." And I stuck it on, and as soon as it came on, the name of the director popped up. So I was like, I'm just going to check out who this guy is and see who this guy is. And it was from the director of The Greasy Strangler,
which you proudly own in your iTunes library,
like a sweet corn in the turd of my collection. Yeah. That sounds like a good thing, doesn't it?
No, can I just say?
Not a good metaphor. Sorry, go on.
Friday night, Becky was out at friends, and I was doing the same thing, scrolling around, and I literally stopped on An Evening with Beverly Luff Lynn and went, and weirdly went, okay.
Yeah.
Craig Robinson, you've got me there.
Yeah.
It is actually Matt Berry as well, isn't it?
Is he Matt Berry? All right.
Matt Berry, but Emil Hirsch is in it as well.
It's in it as well, right.
And I did go, Matt Berry, all right with that. Aubrey Plaza, I can give a take, but when she's funny, I think she's very funny.
She's good.
And then went, yeah, I'm up for that. Wait a minute, I recognise that name. And then did the same thing, went, yeah, you can fuck right off.
I could have very easily stuck that film on and not checked who the director is. It isn't necessarily like, if I see a director's name that I don't recognise, I don't usually check it. I think what it was the look and feel of it. The look and feel of the film just set off a bit of a trigger. So I just needed to check that. I don't know, maybe I thought is this the guy who directed that Mighty Boosh film, or what's going on here? Like, is it the guy who did I forget what the cowboy film is with, so immediately switched it off. There's no fucking way that guy will ever get a film in front of my eyes as long as I live. So, so switched it off, and and the next thing that came up was Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle, and I had absolutely no interest in this film whatsoever, and I just thought, I'm not having another one of those nights where I just flick through everything. So I just went, right, Mowgli, and stuck it on. Claire literally was working next to me. She's like, what's this? And I was like, Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle. She's like, you watching Mowgli? Why? And I was like, just because it's the first thing on. I'm not fucking wasting another evening flicking through Netflix. So yeah, it was actually, I was quite surprised by it. It's, I did like the Jungle Book remake, and I did like spending time with that story in it, but through a different set of eyes. This is a very different set of eyes to that. There are some similarities visually, but it's the Jungle Book, so it has to look a certain way. It's all set in a fucking jungle. It's going to look similar to the other one. But it makes a lot of decisions that obviously that film could never have made. It feels smelly and dirty, and there's fucking flies everywhere all the way through it as well, which is weird. And it hits some of the familiar Jungle Book beats and characters, but very, very few of them. But actually, I think the thing that worked best for me was the third act, where it goes off into completely different territory, and you see Mowgli in the Man Village, which I know you see in the animated Jungle Book too, but that's different. So you do get to see him coming to terms with being a man and what it is to be a man surrounded by animals and the relationship between animals and man, and then how he ends up going back to the jungle and what happens from there. All of that stuff was brilliant. I was enjoying it to a degree up until that point, but that last act really kicked it in a gear for me. Much more impressive than I thought, actually. That's pretty much it. I also watched Upgrade a couple of weeks ago, which is fun. Everybody should watch it.
I enjoyed Upgrade.
Yeah.
Ian, what have you been watching?
So I was just blowing my nose. I've only got a couple.
Was it a power play, Ian? Is that what was going on there?
Oh no, believe me, mate, I ain't a fucking power play. I'm just like, I'd be just as liable to fucking fall asleep on you as I would to fuck you over at the moment. So, so I that's nothing to do with you guys. It's just like, it's this fucking cold's kicking me in the arse. I went straight out from Alita Battle Angel, which was quite sparsely attended, to a really weirdly packed 2:20 on a Saturday afternoon screening of Escape Room. It was really busy, and it was odd. So this is directed by Adam Robital, who directed that last Insidious film. And it kind of seems like they're trying to do a bit of a franchise here. So basically, disparate group of people are invited to try out this escape room, and they're given this thing saying, like, you know, solve it and we'll give you $1,000 or something. They go there, and it turns out that some people are basically concocting these fiendish puzzles to essentially eliminate them all, and they have to try and get out of it. So it's kind of like Saw meets Cube, essentially. Yeah. And I had a perfectly decent time with it. I'd watch more of them.
You're going to get more.
Sorry?
You're going to get more.
Yeah, it's done well enough that I think they could probably do another one in the cinema, then bust a few out that are like direct to video.
It's packed in over 100 million off a 9 million budget.
Yeah, there you go. So
Clubhouse figures that.
And I mean, it looks good. You know what? For a $9 million budget, it looks good. The puzzles in it are pretty entertaining to watch. The characters in it are decent. I mean, they're kind of tropes, but that's fine. And yeah, I mean, I had a perfectly decent 90 minutes with it. So that's Escape Room. It kind of does what it says on the tin. And the only reason why I went to see it was because, like, it was starting immediately after Alita. But I'm,
wash the Alita out of your brain.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I had a better time with it than I did with Alita. You know, if people were going to say, what should I go see, Alita Battle Angel or Escape Room, I'd say fucking Escape Room. I mean, Christ, it's half hour shorter for one thing. So there you go. There's that. And took Lottie to see the Lego Movie 2, which it's interesting. It kind of seems like everybody was falling over themselves to come all over the Lego Movie 5 years ago, and now nobody seems to give a shit.
They've left it too long.
They did leave it too long. It has been 5 years, and they did do the Lego Batman movie and the Lego Ninjago movie both in 2017. So it is a case of just like fucking just rinsing it basically. But I'll say, for what it's worth, I thought it was equal to the first one. It's directed this time by Mike Mitchell, who directed Trolls. And you see that in that it's probably more colourful than the first one is, and there's quite a few musical numbers in it as well, but they're all right.
How is it more colourful than the first one? The first one on its own gave my eyes diabetes.
A lot of it, I don't want to give, like, for people who are going to go see it, I don't want to give away too much about the plot, but a lot of it takes place in a little girl's imagination. Whereas the first took place in a boy's imagination. So, but yeah, there's a lot of colour in it. Basically, what's the story? So at the end of the first one, the boy whose imagination the first one was set in, basically his dad, played by Will Ferrell, says, "Okay, well, we're gonna have to let your sister come down here and play now," and then Duplo aliens come down, and essentially these Duplo aliens continue like trying to come down and seemingly destroy the place. 5 years later, Bricksburg is now Apocalypseburg. It's this more gritty, more teenagery environment, but representatives of Queen Whatever I Wanna Be and Whatever and yeah, something like that, voiced by Tiffany Haddish, come down and they want Batman to marry the Queen. And it kind of goes on from there. It does well in deconstructing the fact that Emmett wasn't really the hero of the first story. There's actually some mild toxic masculinity stuff at play in it, which I thought was quite interesting. It's interesting. I think it's not quite as high on the smell of its own farts as the first one was, which I think Lord and Miller on occasion have a tendency to do, and I think that I think that having Mike Mitchell directing it instead kind of does give it a different focus and a more kid-focused focus, in all fairness. I mean, for what it's worth, I think Lottie was fucking gripped by this one. She liked the first one. She fucking loved this. And in the end of the day, the Lego movie should probably be for 5-year-olds and not for 20-somethings who want to like references shoehorned in for them. Even though saying that, there's a running joke involving Bruce Willis, which is fantastic, and there's a hot tub time machine reference.
So,
yeah.
So I enjoyed it. I rewatched the Lego movie as well, which I think I get on with that more now that everyone has stopped fucking bumming it. And I think maybe I like this one a bit more than otherwise I would because no one is bumming it. If I'm being honest, but I had a good time with it, and the end credits song is brilliant because it's just talking about how great end credits are.
You see, I'm actually wanting to go and see this now. Whereas before I was like, it's too long. It's been too long. Whereas I'm going to go and see it because of a hot tub time machine reference, but there's also other bits that make me want to see it now as well.
Like, seriously, I think you will stand up and cheer at the hot tub time machine bit. It's not oblique, it's very direct.
Yeah, I will. I will be smacking whoever's next to me and just going, fucking hot tub time machine! As someone says, will you stop hitting my child, please?
Yeah, just
there you go.
that person next to you will not be me.
That'll be a child.
Yeah.
And then go, do you want to come and see hot tub time machine with me?
In a hot tub.
You can't just kidnap someone else's child.
As I get arrested.
Yeah, no, that's not how it works.
Yes.
It could be.
That's me, but yeah, Lego Movie 2. It's good.
Bex, what have we watched?
Well, the film I really want to talk about, we fucking can't, can we really? Because Ian will love that film.
Huh?
On the basis of
I think Ian will quite like it.
Yeah,
well,
so we can't talk about it.
We'll see we saw it then.
What is it?
We went to see. Well, you went to see Alita Battle Angel, and then went to see Escape Room, didn't you?
Yeah.
You literally came out of one and went into the other.
Yeah.
We did it the other way around. We went to see On the Basis of Sex, and then literally came straight out of that and went straight into Alita Battle Angel for a nice 5-hour cinema.
Hang on, that came out?
No, it's not out yet. We went to see a advanced screening thing.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. Okay. I'm not going to go see it. I'm not going to go see it in the cinema. It's fine. You talk about it.
All right, we'll talk about it. Yeah. Directed by Mimi Leder, starring Felicity Jones, Armie Hammer, doing some very Armie Hammer things. Justin Theroux, Kathy Bates, Stephen Root. There's a lot of what is it in there? A lot of character acting in there.
Yeah.
You talk about it. You want to talk? You said you want to talk about it.
I still haven't really organised my thoughts about this film. I came out of it feeling like I was failing as a female, and feminism isn't all bad, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg is a fucking hero and should be worshipped and kept alive as long as possible. And that's pretty much where I'm at with it at the moment. I felt like crying at points during that movie. It was really, I don't know, it just really got to me. It's the comparison that my brain made after the film finished was she took down this started the takedown of this horrible toxic system in the same way that the guys that took Capone down did, based on fucking tax codes. And it is just absolutely, like, the film itself is really engaging. Like, it could be really dry and boring, and it's just not. It's really well acted. Just like her passion for making a difference, and it's not even. She wants to take on the sexual discrimination laws because of how many of them discriminate against women, but she's not. It's not just that. It's about equality for her, and when she finds. Granted, it's easier to fight one that discriminates a man against a man at the time because there's more likely to be the sympathy there. But, you know, it's about the equality side of it for her. And she just, I can't even speak on it properly.
In terms of the context of the movie, that's it. What I really, really enjoyed about it was it's not portrayed as one woman's fight against the system with like this big operatic score or anything like that. It's a jaunty little movie of her just essentially just being really stubborn about everything.
Her and Armie Hammer have really good chemistry.
With this like quite fun little score that keeps it peppered along, that gets you interested. Yeah. And then because the score's a lot of fun and it plays really well in it. But then once it starts getting into the meat of it, it just disappears. And there's no score. And you're going, wait a minute, the score's completely gone. And then it comes back. And you go, oh, back there again. Doop-a-doop-doo. And it's a really fun movie that's about a really quite serious subject.
I thought you were going to say it starts doing that piano motif from Eyes Wide Shut.
No, but it would have been funny if it did that.
I like the fact as well that it doesn't play all the men as being baddies. Like it's her against all these bad men. Like Armie Hammer's a really like progressive husband. He does like the majority of the cooking and looks after the kids and blah blah. And you know the guy that works at the
Justin Theroux,
ACLU. He's completely with her, theoretically. He just doesn't think it's winnable.
But he's a prick. But he's supposed to be a prick.
Well, yeah, but he has got her back to an extent. He doesn't want to fight a case he can't win. He doesn't not agree with her.
Yeah, it's a film that it shouldn't have been as much fun as this was, and it's a really good time to spend 2 hours with. To be honest, I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, what so you Ghost Story?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about Ghost Story because you're going to watch it.
Apparently, yes, I am. So, what else? We haven't watched that much actually this week.
No, that's it.
The only one I've got is I did actually rewatch Moneyball this week. I would say it was to kind of like hold it up against High Flying Bird, but it wasn't. I didn't make that connection. It was literally because Moneyball came up on Prime while I was looking for something to watch. I thought, ooh, I'll rewatch Moneyball. Moneyball's great. It's a really fun movie.
It is.
About something that's really quite interesting that you could get ridiculously geeky about, and it did kind of break up the system of how baseball was run, and although not everybody runs on a Moneyball system, and the Moneyball system has now become a bastardized version of what this was, it has changed baseball, and because of that and the way that it seeped a little bit into football, it has had an impact on that as well, and it's quite interesting to see the early kind of where it all came from. It's very interesting. Jonah Hill is also very, very good in it, and Brad Pitt looks like he's having an absolute blast playing Billy Bean. It's a great movie.
It's one of the best sports movies of the last 20 years. I think. I mean, it's hilarious. It's the inside baseball of baseball.
Yeah, it is. And it's a fascinating thing, and it's. Have you read the book?
I haven't. No.
Because the book is the book's nowhere near as entertaining as the book goes a lot more in depth, and it is incredibly geeky, but in a very fun way. If you have an interest in sport, you'll get something out of it. But I read it at the same time as I read the Players Index book about sorting out transfers and how transfers are worked out, which is basically Moneyball but for football. It is unbelievably geeky, and you're reading it going, I am incredibly sad for knowing what all of this means.
But I think that's why, I mean, baseball in itself is a quite unique sport, because you can break down the numbers like that. If you get on base more than anybody else, then you're the best, and it doesn't matter if you're fat or you're thin, you're small, you're big. It's like when the 3-5-2 got brought to the Premier League. It changes the game. But again, unlike football, unlike these team sports. I mean, I know baseball's a team sport, but when you're at the base, it's very much you and another person.
It's more of an individual team sport.
You can't break those down like you can baseball, and I think that's why people get wrapped up in the maths, and that's, well, I'm an absolute dog for that stuff, so that's why I quite really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, that's it for us. What is it? Ian, do you want to say questions, or do you want to do them now? How are you doing?
I'm flagging.
Well, we should save questions for next week then, because we didn't get that many, so we'll save them for next week.
Thank you.
I've actually got an answer this week as well.
Oh no, do it, do it then. Do it.
I need to get my phone back out of my pocket. I'm just sweating.
Well, there was only one question, wasn't there, that I saw?
All right, cool. I'll do our question to the guys this week. Our question for you guys this week is: what's the best special feature you've watched, and do you actually care about special features? Rick Kidd at Rick J Kidd. To be honest, I can't remember the last time I watched a special feature. Craig at Craig Dawson. The commentary track for The Grey is great. Joe Carnahan trashing people who worked on other films while drinking whiskey is the best. I'm going to buy that so I can watch that.
I would say the commentary track on Evil Dead 2, because Bruce Campbell tells a story about the time he met Kurt Russell, and all Kurt Russell wanted him to do was to say work shed.
I've got that Blu-ray, so I'm going to watch that as well. Andrew Jones, Ethan Runt, and the 17-minute Magnolia making of Dito, actually a whole feature on a Tenacious D live Blu-ray. or the introduction to deleted scenes of Eagle and Shark, where I can see getting a tux. These scenes are considered too shit for the main feature. Love extras. Best I can think of right now is Fincher's commentary track for 7. I can absolutely agree with that. Also, Fincher's commentary track for Fight Club is brilliant. He literally, throughout the entire bit, goes, I can now see why this movie didn't make money. Yeah. House of Black Lanterns. If they have Danny Dyer or Nick Love, yes. Unfortunately, that does mean watching a Danny Dyer and Nick Love film. What question did we have? We had one question. Just find it.
I think it was Rick Kidd.
Yeah, Rick J. Kidd. Are there any films you hate from directors you love? If so, what?
Yesterday by Danny Boyle.
Nice.
I mean, for me, I wouldn't say hate, but I think actively dislike Burn After Reading from the Coens. I think it's utterly pointless. It's the Coens going too Coen-y.
I can say I actually didn't mind Burn After Reading, but I can absolutely see where you're coming from.
Yeah, there's a couple of Coen Brothers movies that I don't like. So A Serious Man, I really didn't like. I just, you
didn't like.
Actually, saying that, I didn't like Hail Caesar either. So.
Oh, I quite like the Hail Caesar.
Yeah, that's crazy talk.
Intolerable Cruelty. Most people seem to not like that. Lady Killers. Most people. Yeah.
And of course, I like Lady Killers because I'm a fucking idiot.
I think Curious Case of Benjamin Button would be a good one for this.
Yeah.
Not that I hate it, but just that it's so much less good than anything else that Fincher put out there, and I include the work printer version of Alien 3 in that.
I have one for this.
Go on.
To the Wonder, Terrence Malick. It's just shit.
But so's lots of Malick.
I disagree on that.
Steady.
You didn't see Song to Song, did you?
I haven't seen Song to Song yet.
Yeah, fucking... Alright, come back to me. Have you seen Night of Cups?
I have seen Night of Cups.
Did you like Night of Cups?
I didn't hate Night of Cups, is what I will say.
Right, okay. You didn't like it then?
It's pointless, but I like the fact that some people are credited in it who literally went to a party because they were told that Terrence Malick was shooting a part of a film at this party.
Hmm.
And so, for instance, Nick Kroll is credited as Nick. Nick Kroll only knew he was in the movie when he actually saw the movie and went, I'm in this. He didn't know, apparently, that he was even in it.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one then. So a director who there's only one of his films that I've not seen, one of his feature films that I've not seen, and that's Free Fire, just because I haven't got around to it yet. But Ben Wheatley, I love all of his stuff. I even love a lot of his TV stuff that I didn't even realise he did, like Ideal and Modern Toss. But he made a movie a while back called A Field in England, and Ian, I know you liked it. I fucking hated that film. I really hated it.
You and me both on that one, no.
But the weird thing is, I mean, there's films of his that I like slightly less. I think High Rise, I enjoyed visually, but there's a lot about it that sort of irks me a little bit. Down Terrace, I love. Kill List, I love. Sightseers, I love. Happy New Year, Colin Burstead, I love. It just feels like A Field in England just really sticks out as this weird fucking experiment in the middle of it all. And I know that's exactly what it is. But yeah, it's just the one film in his filmography that really fucking annoys me. So yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get on with Sightseers either on that.
Crazy talk.
Sightseers.
I like Sightseers.
Hated that film. Bex, yours, go on.
Oh, I can't think of any. I'm really crap at remembering who's directed what anyway. And all the directors I like all their stuff, but there's not many of them. I can't participate. I'll have a think.
I'm thinking you answer it next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Is that you hungry?
I am quite hungry and our cat, like, literally trying to fall off my knee right now.
Yeah, you do. Our cat is... How do you describe our cat at the moment, Becky? He's adult. He's had too many seizures and fried his brain too much, and his cat, he can fall over, stood up. Mental.
Currently a cat in liquid form.
Yeah.
From what? From doing what?
He went through a phase of having, like, seizures.
Did it?
Yeah, but like a couple, and then none for months. And the vet was like, well, if he's not having them constantly, the medication will do him more harm than having them occasionally. Mm-hmm. And he hasn't had any in a while, touch wood. But he just seems a bit wrong.
Yeah, he does.
He like sits and stares into corners a lot.
Yeah. And he was walking on the back of the sofa the other day and just fell off it.
Fuck.
Probably shouldn't have laughed that, but it was
funny.
It was funny.
It was funny.
And he was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just his pride was hurt.
Yeah.
You are.
Just his pride was hurt, really.
Yeah.
Just you two laughing at him. You know.
It was, yeah. So that was episode 291 of Film Bastards. Thank you very much, Noel, for joining us. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Ian, for surviving it.
Thanks.
And what we're coming next week, Ian?
Happy Death Day to you.
Yes.
Nice.
Catch up. Did you guys want to do a catch up on If Beale Street Could Talk?
Yes.
Cool. We'll do those then.
Right. We're going to get off before Ian literally does die. So thank you much for listening, guys, and we shall speak to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Laters.
Restrepo. Yes.
Like champagne and leather, like birds of a feather, we'll fly. Like rain on a Sunday day, like $1 million that you're giving away. Like a stray dog on the freeway, we'll fly. Whoa. 'Cause we are like a team, living inside a dream. You and me doing the thing, and we'll fly. Unbelievable, super cool, outrageous and amazing. Phenomenal, fantastic, so incredible. Unbelievable, super cool, outrageous and amazing. Phenomenal, fantastic, so incredible. It's the credits, yeah, that's the best part. When the movie ends and the reading starts, you can keep your adventure and all that action. 'Cause the credits of the film are the main attraction. And don't even think about trying to leave, or you might miss a name. Like Pam and Steve, both incredible names, so let's stay in our seats and read a credible list of their incredible feats. 'Cause we are like a team, living inside a dream. You and me doing the thing, and we'll fly. Unbelievable, super cool, outrageous and amazing. Phenomenal, fantastic, so incredible. Unbelievable, super cool, outrageous and amazing. Phenomenal, fantastic, so incredible. And we're back, and still loving the credits. Can't wait to see the one about the person who edits. And even better than that is who edits the credits. I bet I'll never forget it, 'cause once I read it, then I'm ready. I go to the theater about 90 minutes late. Skip the whole dang movie, 'cause the credits are great. Now if you're gonna be featured on a movie song, the credits is the part that you wanna be on. Unbelievable, super cool, outrageous and amazing. Phenomenal, fantastic, so incredible. Everything is super cool right now. Everything is awesome here right now. Everything is super cool right now. Everything is awesome here right now. Everything is super cool right now. Everything is awesome here right now. Everything is super cool right now. Everything is awesome here right now.